No. The fact is that Ugandans have a lot of excuses. I didn't look at it from this guy's angle, but
Yes.
I appreciate the angle, the symbolism. Ugandans have a lot of excuses. I feel attacked a bit, but I want to.
But isn't that true?
I had a teacher who used to kill people in her family so that she doesn't teach. Sorry, boys. Today, I'm going for burial. My husband's great grandfather died, and then she'd get out, and we noticed the pattern. Someone else would die after like maybe 2 weeks, a month,
If
or
you have
something
2
like
weeks,
that.
someone must
They
Yeah.
probably
And
killed
then
somebody
we would
twice
notice
even.
after that she would be standing at the staff room chatting with these other male teachers. Like, boss, tulikuchi.
No, but
I don't know. Yeah.
the thing is, and me, I'll speak for myself first and foremost, and say I must confess that I have been at a certain stage in my life where I was drowned in excuses. Yes, I've had that phase of my life, especially somewhere through uni and stuff. You know, for some of us that have, uh, you could argue it, and you could argue this in many different angles, but the angle that I would like to take is, so each one of us has a family, whether it's a dysfunctional family or a proper family. Some of us come from dysfunctional backgrounds where your lived experiences have formed the greater part of your perceptions about life. Where, as a result of your lived experiences, it is easier for you to pocket yourself in the soft life of things because you're happy to ride on the excuse of this is my lived experience. So I could as well use it as an excuse for my current choices, decisions, and you name it. Now, I'm a Ugandan, but if you go to Ghana, if you go to the US, you're going to find people that have been raised in dysfunctional family setups as well. But maybe the question that I would kind of be wondering is, so what is it that is so peculiar about the Ugandan people? So that whether it's a dysfunctional family background or a functional family background, the disease still looms and hovers over us like that, you know. But for me, that was it. I really think very strongly that my family background may have had a major role without going into the nitty-gritty of what it really looked like. But one day I received a rude awakening. There was this friend of mine, a girl who had observed my patterns. That was during uni. She had observed my patterns, we were good friends, but when she noticed, one day she stood up to me. Like those words have never left my head. And she told me, dude, gather yourself, man.
Wow.
Like you need to sensen up. Like pull yourself together. Cut that crap. Like she said those things to me. I was like, what in the world is going on? Nenekuba mu tochi, nenetereza, I beat myself up, stood up and said, you are stop riding on excuses. And for me, that incident was, in fact, the beginning of what later became a shift in attitude, where I now became, and still am becoming even to this day, the type of person that is happier to look at things as they are and find my place of responsibility in how things are turning out or in how things are looking. And I like to talk about, sometimes when I'm having a conversation with my wife, I like to bring up some of these things as far as my mindset on excuses is concerned. So as it stands now, I don't like giving excuses any longer. No. Sometimes I do, like, don't get me wrong, but I think I have grown tremendously from a person that enjoyed riding on your lived experiences as leverage to be giving silly excuses to a person that would rather keep quiet if you know that what is going on in your head is not any good. And then to a person who will say, you know what, ekyaleero kyawakani, leero kigaani, naye saba onsonyiwe, without divulging so much into the details. So maybe it's our culture. No, like, think about it, guys. In 1986, when when the leopard
Captured the prey.
exactly.
And the leopard had 27 guns.
When the leopard showed up with 27 guns and raided the entire,
Yes.
lo and behold,
Yeah.
he sat in the chair. My father told us a very interesting story that actually explained certain things that that have come to define our political leadership landscape and so on and so forth. And he said that in that year, apparently there was a heavy rigging, a cheating of exams at, in UNEB, and as it happens these days. And then he attributed the current breed of leaders to the nonsense that was part of the nonsense that was happening in the institution or government institution. You're cheating exams and people are having their way very easy and smooth. And he even quoted certain names and so on and so forth. People that he sat in the same class with, and then later on he's seeing them and doing this and doing that. And clearly he felt this guy does not qualify to be in this kind of space. But the sort of madness and sickness that the leopard arrived with when he showed up with his 27 guns, sowing the mustard. Now today we have a big tree. In fact, like a large forest of big trees that are
Immovable.
that are immovable, and the system is sick.
Are we giving excuses?
We probably are, but I mean, truth be told, you can't divorce yourself from that part of history.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I understand it's at a macro level, but guess what? What is at a macro level has a way it trickles down to the micro level as well, and vice versa.
I like that story because the very story of the very mention of 27 guns versus how many are in every police station in Uganda. Yeah? 27 ninjas, 27 human beings chose.
Yeah.
We are not going to give excuses.
Yeah.
We can do this thing.
Interesting.
And they went and what they did is not so small because, Calabar was still there.
Then.
Yeah, it was still there.
Wow.
It's not there right now.
Yeah.
You go and sit in Luzira, but they put their necks on the line and man, sowed the mustard seed. What do you think about excuses, Moses?
No. The fact is that Ugandans have a lot of excuses. I didn't look at it from this guy's angle, but
Yes.
I appreciate the angle, the symbolism that man, there are only 27 guns. I think that it was just a batch of guys who were tired of the things.
Yeah.
You get my point.
Yes.
But back from the place where I understand, I have a maid at the house. I've had a lot of people over time, and I've noticed people with excuses appear like over. They make you have sort of a mini court of some sort. They have to explain themselves why they didn't do this, why they did, and then when you add it up, you just see that it's not valid. Yes, it is correct, but it's not valid.
It's weak substance.
Yeah, like what you said, it's a lived experience. I think why this stereotype comes that Ugandans have a lot of excuses is that we've lived most of our time in this country, and we've noticed that in the workplace, guys are giving excuses. When you reflect at yourself, what you've just done, you used to give excuses. When you look around, it is the same thing. Now, when you're lucky to get to some of these countries where we've worked, where we've gone a small time and come back, you discover that the vibe in those countries is different.
It's different.
Guys, people reach the point of working per hour. I've investigated about working per hour in Uganda. It just doesn't work. Because a nigga reports and he has to make coffee, he has to go and pick a bite down. And so now when you're paying per hour, what are you paying? But guys out there in the UK, in Canada and everywhere, they're busy calculating, they're living by the hour. Every time I get gigs from some international organizations, they want me to quote by the hour.
Yes.
When I normally quote after investigating what their countries say, and it works. But the issue is, for us here, we grew up in a laissez-faire kind of manner, like how do it, and I'll explain. You know, the plan to explain is, and the culture.
It's like the plan to explain is at the forefront.
Exactly. So
Draw the plan to explain, then commit your nonsense.
Is there
I'll
an
explain
end, is there
myself.
an end to it though?
You know,
Like, yeah.
And then also the other thing in Uganda, we are so listening that you're going to listen. Hey, so what happened? You know, there's a point I came late one time, and I had a very good excuse, and this guy mercilessly responded to me. My kid was sick, and then the guy said, "But are you a doctor?" But when you think through it, my kid was sick, so the kid was taken to hospital. These things
And
take
you
small
had to
time,
wait,
and then the whole day died.
Yeah.
You get like it was a nail, like it was a hard nail. Like, man, when I reflected through it, I was like, but I'm not actually a doctor.
It was
And when I looked at the situation, it wasn't as bad as
to
but
warrant.
I didn't know. I like the unwillingness to say sorry is the one which was, you know, instead of being humble and apologize, you want to counteract and you're like, we both win.
Yeah.
So the stereotype that says that Ugandans have a lot of excuses still stands to hold some water. Reason being, it is the life. It is the thing that we've been seeing. It is the life that we've been having. It is the culture. It's like it's been like a character we've been raised in. That's why every person conquers it.
It's crazy.
Separately, you know. Many times, guys like you, people like me, who are kind of on a mission to overcome that, you get shocked when you find someone who is 36 years old telling you very, very lousy stories. I'm on a bike, I'm coming, then my this, my hard disk, you know, they say, my what, I mean, do the work. You get my point?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people want you to pay them. And they want to come in your zone where they're earning to create excuses in that zone so that the monthly or the money that you keep paying, that one will not, you have no right to get to excuses. And the number one culprit of people who normally say that Ugandans have a lot of excuses, they're employers. Because employers just live with this kind of life. Today this, today
They see
the other
the
thing,
excuses
today.
every day.
That's the same thing with your teacher who says who is killing a person every after 2 weeks. Now after, I mean, in a year for you about 16 people get Katunda College. Anyway, there are so many points, but in the interest of time, I'm going to request us to cut it off at this particular point. We'll pick it up from there.